What up, y'all? It's your homeboy Justin. We back in the bathroom one more again. Let me close this door real quick. We closing the door. We getting real personal and intimate in here tonight. No, I'm kidding. I just wanted to do a little chit chat with y'all. Just a little regular video. What in the world? I always seem to find an ant whenever I'm recording. I don't know why. Anyway. I am just gonna cut my hair, not my locks, my hair. And I just wanted to talk with y'all today about, what's going on in my life. A little bit of an update, I guess. This is what I do with my hair whenever I need to do a haircut. I just put it in some type of bun with the hair back as far as it'll go. So that way I can keep it off of the sides because that's where I need to cut. And then that way I can still keep everything as neat as it can be. Obviously this can be tighter, but because we're just cutting the hair, it doesn't really matter. Does not really matter right now in this current moment. Although I need a retwist. Y'all can see I need a retwist bad. Anyway, so what's up? So plug this in too. And we just knocking stuff over. You gonna stay there too. Come on, man. Stop being difficult. Oh, Lord Jesus, fix it. We just come through this because they don't want to cooperate right now. I'm having issues. Okay. I just wanted to talk to y'all because in my 4-year anniversary video, I had posted a question on the poll about if y'all wanted to hear about what's been going on the last few months. And a few people said yes. Probably like 2-3 people, most more like 10. But y'all said yes, so I'm just gonna give y'all the rundown of what happened or what's going on as I'm bleeding on the side of my face. I was trying to get ingrown hair earlier, and so that's the result. Y'all would know about that if you a dude or a woman or whoever who just has curly hair. You know what I'm talking about. And my line is all crooked. But basically, I will say right now, I'm excited because I am going to grad school. Starting grad school in about a week and a half as of today. I'm very excited. And the reason I bring that up is because I feel like this is the answer to the question I've been asking myself and probably the universe for the last maybe 5 or 6 months or so. It's been a minute. But one of the questions I was asking was kind of a what now? Yeah, so I was asking a what now because it had gotten to the point where like I was 3 years at my job at the church. I was slowly growing to hate it more and more and more every day that I was there, becoming more and more unfulfilled. I wasn't finding much joy except for the few Sundays where either choir, depending if it was the men's choir or the gospel choir, where they really turn up and they were really singing and really giving God the glory, like really trying to praise. But that was kind of coming few and far between. And I just wasn't interested in that anymore, or I was becoming less in love with it because of the work that I felt like the work that I was putting into it wasn't being reciprocated by my members. And then I also feel like the things that I was trying to do within my ministry wasn't being supported by the right people that had the power to help empower me to execute what I wanted to do. So that was another reason why I was getting upset and frustrated, because it's like I'm working at a place where I really can't get the stuff done that you say or whoever is in charge says, or people say they want to do. They want to do all these things, but they're not putting in the work to get it done. And then you can only do so much as one person. You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. And so this has been going on for a minute. It got really bad last year because we tried to do something and it was successful, but there was a segment of people who just did not care about that success and were more worried about their relationship and their bond that they had with each other. And because of that, and because of people not wanting to cause too much commotion, dissension among that group of people, we didn't do what we needed to do. And instead, we kept things the way they were. Yep, I just did that. Y'all can think whatever you want to. So I'm trying to do stuff. I'm trying to take this, whatever it is, to the next level, especially with my background in music performance, the multiple concerts and performances and gigs that I have under my belt. You would think that people would be like, oh, he knows what he's talking about. We should probably listen to the advice or the instruction that he's giving, or when he says stuff like, y'all need to practice outside of rehearsal, y'all should probably do that. And I believe that they did. I just don't think that they did it to the level that they needed to in order to really be where they want to be. Like, it's like, I don't know. You gotta sing that song a little bit more than just one time at home. You gotta go over those harmonies. And the thing too is that, like, if you're a really good musician, you just know the harmonies. You don't have to practice the harmonies. You hear the melody and you just sing a harmony to it. That's all you have to do. But depends on the person. Not everybody can do that. Not everyone can. That's okay. But that goes back to knowing where your calling is. Some people want to think that everything is for them. Not everything is for you, and you ain't for everyone either. So that's something that I've learned with this job, and that's something that's okay. I think what's not okay is that when people force themselves into situations, or if they've been there for a long time and someone new comes and they think they still need to be there. You don't have to be there. And I think that people should kind of take heed to that when an expert, quote unquote, comes in and says, hey, maybe we should try things different. Just my thought, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so the last few months have been really challenging for me mentally and emotionally. I would say that I was depressed for like the last few months to a year. Just because work was so bad. Like, I just, it's like a dead-end job type of situation. There's no upward mobility in being a music director at a small parish of only 300 families. There's no ladder to climb. I'm the music director. That's the ladder. There's one rung. I'm already on the rung. I'm already on the highest and lowest rung of the ladder. So, ain't nowhere to go. So that was frustrating for me. As a person who is perpetually poor, it didn't make sense to stay in a career field or a vocation where I wasn't going to be able to improve my financial situation that quickly, especially since it took like 2.5 years for me to get one raise, which was 3%, which I've learned is actually like the industry norm, I guess, at least for like a corporate job. But I don't work corporate, it's a church, but then like it's a music thing, I don't know. So that had been going on, and I was trying to adjust and was trying to figure out what to do. I had gotten to a point at work where I was so fed up. That looks okay, I guess. I don't know. It got to a point where I was so fed up that I was starting to show up later to warm-ups and show up late to rehearsals, because it was like, what's the point? Y'all ain't gonna sing it right anyway. No point in me putting all this energy. And that's something I actually stopped doing about half a year ago, maybe even longer. I stopped putting the energy into one group because it didn't make sense for me to bust my ass and leave rehearsal sweating. Like, people don't realize that music is actually physically taxing. If you are singing and playing a piano at 2 to 3 masses a week, and then 3 to 4 masses a week, and then you have 3 rehearsals, that's vocally and physically and mentally and creatively taxing and exhausting. And if I'm leaving rehearsal sweating and you're just like walking out as if you just woke up in the morning and you just ready to go, there is a disconnect there. I shouldn't be putting all this energy out there and you're not putting the same energy out. And I noticed it, and I was like, you know what? I can address it, which I did, but if it's not gonna change, I don't need to repeat myself twice or 3 times. I like repeating myself. Nope. So I had to stop putting that energy out there. If y'all aren't willing to do that, if y'all aren't willing to match what I'm giving you, then unfortunately, all I can do is ask for you to match my energy, and if I've asked and it still doesn't happen, then we're done. That's it. It's cool. No, it's no it's not like a bad blood type of situation. It's just like, okay, that's how you are as a person, and I'm gonna meet you where you are. Sometimes, people say meet me halfway. Sometimes if people don't want to meet you halfway, then don't meet them at all. That's just how I feel about it. Y'all weren't, and I'm saying y'all collectively. I ain't talking about, specific people. I'm just talking collectively as a group. However, I'm only talking about one group more so than the other group, but it's all what it is. It is what it is. But I would say that was the source. That was the main thing of this last year of just unhappiness, of misery, of depression, there were days where I would just lay on my floor for 5 hours just chilling with no motivation, no reason to get out of bed some days, or no reason to do anything like putting up my laundry or washing my dishes or even cutting my hair. It's definitely subsided. It's not as big of an issue now. I don't use this word depression loosely, but I also don't use it clinically. I haven't gone to a doctor or a psychologist and gotten diagnosed. I just know from what people describe it as and what I've read and how I'm feeling, I can feel that there was something wrong with me and there was something not right within my mind, or just in my physical, in my physiological state. So I'm just saying, we don't even have to use that word if that's not what it is. I think that's what it is, but if it's not that, then maybe I was just singing the blues for a very long time, and it was very not fun. And I talked to my friend Jose about this. I told him that this is one of the reasons why I enjoyed making YouTube videos so much, is because it's an outlet where I have complete control over what message is put out there, of how it's put out there, of what I say, of how it's edited, of what I do. I like having that autonomy to make whatever kind of content I want. And I like not having the oversight of people who want to diminish your efforts or minimize what you do or not give you the credit where it's due. So I like it. I guess I'm more of a lone wolf in the type of aspect, because if it works, then I have myself to congratulate. But if it doesn't work, I also have myself to blame. But that's okay, because I can live with that. I can live with blaming myself. I can be mad at myself. I don't like it when other people are mad at me, and I don't like putting my success in people that I can't trust to make that successful. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I've also learned just about life, and music specifically, but life in general. Because if you're wanting to do something with music or any other type of creative outlet, you have to know that the people, you can trust them. And I don't mean trust in your life. I'm talking about trusting them to make smart, creative decisions that make sense in the context of whatever it is. If it's painting, making smart choices with color scheme or how they paint or whatever type of style they're using for whatever it is. If it's music, it's okay, if you're playing guitar, know your function. If you're playing piano, know your function. If you're playing the drums, know how you function within the space of us in the choir. People need to, and that's the thing. People don't know their functions, and so they don't know how to function. And what's worse is when you have to tell people about their function over and over and over. I'm I wish I would just get it and just know. But that's something that has to be learned and become intuitive. But unless you take the active steps to remember that and to apply it, and practice it, what I be talking about, you can't do nothing. So I just shake my head well, y'all could be good, but y'all ain't. There's so many awesome things and potential that y'all have, but unless you actually make the effort, ain't nothing gonna happen, boo-boo. You can't just get good. You have to practice and work on it to be great. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, I'm gonna do this other side and then we're gonna be right back, okay? Okay, so I just did this side because it wouldn't make sense for me to talk to y'all but have my head, my face away from you the whole time. But all I did was just make a line and then fade it out. So it's kind of like a curved drop fade type of mohawk situation. But yeah. So let's see. Yeah. Oh, I made that side shorter than the other side. It'll be alright. We gonna be alright. If anything, I can just take the other side and make it just a shout, child. We about solutions up in here. Give me 2 seconds, just a hot minute. There we go. That's all we have to do. Mistakes are a part of the process. That's all it is. Okay, so we do that, and then we take a 16. Where my 16 at? Where you at? Where you at? And I put the thing all the way down. So cutting blade is away from the comb blade right now. If I can get this little thing on, this little guard on. There we go. There we go. And we're just gonna go halfway between the part that I cut and the line on my head. That's what we gonna do. This is the right one, right? I feel like we put our money in the machine, but we ain't getting no soda, okay? I want my hot Cheetos and Takis, and I can't get it if the vending machine don't work or my clippers don't cut up the same. But yeah, going back to the whole church being crazy and needing to get out. It's like that movie Get Out, for real. But I just needed a change. And for the longest time, for the last year, I was like, what can I do? I was trying to think about going to school last year, but then it was too late. And then I was like, okay, well, let me get my resume up. So I was boosting my resume back up. I was going back on LinkedIn. I was trying to find jobs, but I wasn't really finding much of anything. So that kind of just fell through. And then about 2 months ago, I was on Facebook at work. Oh Lord. Okay, after the 16-inch, you grab the 1/8 inch and you go all the way up to the top. So I was on Facebook and I just saw that my professor, my college professor, my percussion professor, had posted that it was like urgent, need a GTA for the next school year. And I'm like, what am I doing next school year? Nothing. So I decide to take it upon myself to email him and be like, yo, what's going on? What do I have to do? What paperwork do I have to fill in? What's the application process? How much it costs? All that stuff. Doesn't respond to email, so I call him and we chat about it. So I talked to him, he tells me all this stuff. I talked to him again, he's like, let's make a decision. Because first I wasn't even sure if this was the right fit. It's like, do you even need to do this? Like, is this for you? Like, would this even be a good fit for you? Was like the first question. And I'm like, you know what, we need to think about this. Let me think. So I was thinking, he called me back, we talked about it some more. And then he called me back a third time and it's like, I feel like things happen in threes for a reason. It's like BAPS. For real, like, it's always them threes. Something about them threes, I tell you, man, something about them threes. So, I finally fill out the application, send the emails to the appropriate people, pay the application fee, get my audition tape, ignore the sound from this thing. I know it's making that sound. Y'all think I don't know that? I know. So I do all that stuff, and then lo and behold, a few days later, I get a letter talking about please sign this and receive with your intent on coming to WSU. And so I'm like, bet I can do that. And then it's like with your intent to accept the GTA position, of which I was gonna do, and I was like, yeah, I could be the GTA. And then after that, they give me an offer, and then it says, I get another letter that says, congratulations, you have been accepted to the Masters of Music program here at WSU. And I'm just like, hey, I'm finally moving in the direction that I wanted to move in, like finally. And so Ever since that, it's been good. And really, I will say, actually, in hindsight, I would say that this cruise was kind of a nice reawakening of who I am as a person, because I forgot what it was. I forgot what Happy Justin was, or I forgot who he was. Honest to God, I forgot who Happy Justin was. Because I would say, although I was enjoying like time with my people, like my friends and my family outside of work, at the core of who I am as a person, I was not happy. I was not in my happy place. I was in a place of like tolerance and just like going through the motions. But I can't say I was like content with my life, which is nice, you know, to have that hunger. But like this was like, these hunger pains were for real, like just excruciating. Like something wasn't right, and I could feel it. I didn't know what it was, and it was on that cruise. And Kim and Chouette, if you watch this, y'all was there because y'all was in the conversation when we was crying. Well, when I was crying on the boat, I had a moment, y'all, that last night on that cruise. It was so bittersweet to be leaving the boat, because I honestly couldn't remember a moment in my life at that time where I had that much fun, that consistently, and was so happy and just ecstatic. And I know I was on vacation. You're supposed to be happy on vacation, but it's like just the general happiness that I was feeling. I'm just like, why? Where is it gone? Where is it? Because I don't remember this being a weird thing where I had to find it. I just was a happy person. So it was so weird, like being in a place where all of a sudden it was like, why is it that now I'm enjoying life so much and all this stuff? And it's because I wasn't at work. I wasn't dealing with all the shit that I have to deal with on a regular basis. And then I don't know. And since then it was like, I gotta figure out a way for this to be my reality all the time, because I can't live here. I can't work here. I can't do this anymore. I'm going to do something like really bad, like just quit and be homeless or whatever. I don't know. I just knew that I couldn't stay there. I knew that for a fact. Trying to get this last line here, trying to blend out this little bit. No, yep, no, yes, come on. Come on, Jesus, come on. Come through with it, come through. That's what I'm telling you. So, that is what has been happening the last few months. But I will say, as much work as I have to put in for the audition for college, I'm very happy that I did it, because I feel like I'm finally on the right track. And my plan right now is actually to go to college. I want to go a year here at WSU, but then I want to transfer to a different school on like the West Coast or the East Coast, probably the West Coast though, because LA is a nice city and I've got family there, so I can stay with some people, or I can just to have a network of people that you already know in the city is good. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Plus, I just talked to my cousin today. Always good talking to him. He's real cool. I would say he's one of my favorite cousins. It's just nice to have family that supports you in what you do and that congratulates you when you do stuff, you know. Find the people that reflect your light. That's what I'll say. You don't want to find people that want to dim it. You want to find people that reflect it. You know, be the light for people who need light, and then the brighter you shine, the more you allow other people to do so. Sometimes people see your light and they think they want to try and dim it, or they want to try and throw some shade on it, both literally and figuratively, or they want to do something to make it seem like it's like you ain't doing nothing, like you ain't popping. But at the end of the day, that's just their insecurity and their projections onto you. I'm sweating right now because it's hot up in here. Let me make sure this is even on both sides though, y'all. Let me make sure it's even. All right, cool. All right, we done. I think this is good enough for, a Wednesday night haircut. I mean, I'm self-taught, no proper training, so obviously it's gonna look some type of way. But at the same time, I'm proud of my haircut because I did it. And like I said before with music, I like doing things by myself, because if it works, it's cool. If it doesn't, I can just blame myself and I'm cool. Because I can take my criticism, but sometimes other people be a little bit ugly with their criticism. But anyway, that's enough about me and my talk. How are y'all doing? How are y'all thing? Here's my question to y'all that I want y'all to put in the comment section. What are you doing? What are you doing today in order for you to be successful tomorrow? And if you haven't had a chance to really sit down and look at your life the last 6 months to a year and see what's been working well and what hasn't been working well, I would suggest to do that and see maybe a season has started, or maybe you're in the middle of a season, or maybe your season's ending and you need to start a new chapter in your life. Figure out what that is, because I had to do that, and I'm glad that I'm finally being able to turn a page and start a new chapter. Not a whole book yet, but just I think this last period of my life was like the end of like a section, and we're now starting like a new section of my book, of my life, of my memoir, if you will. So yeah, that's my question for y'all. Answer in the comment section below. What are you doing today in order for you to be successful tomorrow? Answer that question. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe on your way out and click that bell notification too, because I post Monday and Thursday. And just in case it's a little bit off schedule, you'll know anyway. Hit me up on any social media if you want to do that. Snapchat and Instagram is where I hang out the most. So hit me up there, especially if you have any questions about anything, all right? And yeah, that's it. All right, cool. I don't know where I am in the frame. I don't really care. But if I do this right, okay. Yeah, no. Right? It's here and here. Is it? I don't know. Okay, hold on a second. Yes. So last week's thing is right here, or Monday's video's there. There's a playlist there of more stuff, I'm not sure what, and then also the subscribe button. Hit those things on your way out. Check out more videos if you want to, and like always, stay blessed, be blessed. I will see y'all later. Peace, and keep it locked, all right?